What is the first thing founders waste money and they after that some kind of time they regret on it?
Well, that's a really good question. I'd say, okay, I used to actually teach economics, okay, and one of the principles, like let's say when you talk about the supply side, one of the principles is at least something that I kind of briefly mentioned, and I didn't put a lot of thought into it, but now I do, is that when businesses create a product, okay, they don't really care whether that product is good for them. Like it makes no difference if you're the owner of the product. You're not really creating the product for yourself, and you're not creating something that you like necessarily. Okay, and they create because of the profit incentives. That's the key. But a lot of founders, at least a lot of businesses, based on my experience, what they do is they create a product that's really good for them, but that's not necessarily mapping to your consumers who may actually be the final arbiters, okay, of your product, right? Because you're not creating it for yourself, you're creating for other people to use your product. And if they don't understand or they don't appreciate this setup that you created, okay, these features that you added into your product, you spend all that time and all those resources in vain, right? You are kind of pursuing something like some phantom, that doesn't exist. So I believe one of the key things is to try to identify your target audience. You may not even know who they are, but at least, okay, try to identify it and try to build it not for you, okay, but for those people. So you're going to hear a lot of criticism like this doesn't work, that doesn't work, this doesn't work, and you're going to feel like defensive maybe because you're going to think, well, it does work for me, I like it the way exactly how I designed it. Well, that doesn't really matter because you are not the only consumer. Yeah, you may be one out of million, but you want to have the other 999,000, right?
Right.
So the key is, okay, make sure that you listen to that and apply that criticism constructively to create something that's going to be good, not really for you but for them. As far as you're concerned, you're going to use it regardless. And the reason is because at the core, the product will not change. So that means that if you see the value at the core, okay, shaping it into something that just look a little bit different and fits everybody else, well, that's not going to deter you from consuming anyway. So that means that now by listening to others who are going to be ultimately the consumers of your product, that's the key. And wasting all the resources, creating something that's really irrelevant for them, that's a waste, right? And that's what I see a lot of people doing, okay? And including ourselves. I mean, we spent definitely some time, and there was some, trial and errors, where we had to learn our lessons, but we pivoted pretty quickly and learned from those mistakes,